books. I like them. I enjoy reading them, and I'm kind of always keep talking about them. So I thought I would talk about my top 10 books that I have been reading or have read. This is gonna go over mostly like a range of books, so comics, ready books, and graphic novels. And I thought I'd just show off some of my favorite ones to you guys because I really enjoy it, and I had no ideas for this week's video. So instead of talking about Concord for the fourth time, let's talk about an actual thing that I really do like. So the first book I want to talk about is Dan Dan Dan. I really love this manga by Yoko Tashu. Sorry, I'm not saying, but it's a really fun manga. The characters are really fun and energetic. The fights are really interesting. The yokai in this are really interesting. Oh, I should probably explain what the series is about. It follows these two main characters basically discovering that yokai and aliens are real, and hijinks ensue. There's like a meme going around of a cow being abducted in a manga. This is the manga that it's from. It is really funny, really interesting. Great read. If you get your hands on it, go read it. I'm currently collecting them on. I'm collecting the physical ones because I loved it that much. I originally started it online, but I had to start collecting it. It was that good, and yeah, the art is gorgeous. The art is bloody gorgeous. The fights are energetic and just really, really cool. And it also has one of the coolest characters. The grandma is just so cool. She's such a badass. Next, number 9, I guess. Kaiju number 8. I'm getting the mangas out of the way first. If you've not read Kaiju number 8 and you're a shonen fan, go read it. It's an amazing action love series. The basic story is that there is a world full of kaijus and monsters. There's also an anime out, and the main character becomes one of these kaijus and uses these powers to fight against them. There's twists and turns, a bit of a mystery going on, and brilliant action in it. I'm not going to say much more of it because I'm slowly reading it as well. I think you should definitely go and give it a chance. Next, now onto a graphic novel that I think I've talked about before, but never actually got a chance to talk about it properly. Harlem Hellfighters. It's by Max Bruck. It is set in the First World War about a group of Black American soldiers. I fucking love this. For a start, the art in it is amazing. And I believe it's all based on a true story, because this unit actually did exist. And reading, when I first discovered this, it was around about Black History Month, and no one talked about these guys. Nowhere in like these big political like statements and stuff about famous black people did they ever talk about the Harlem Hellfighters, and I don't know why. They're really cool guys, and why haven't we had a series based on them? I want a series based on these guys to find out more, to learn more. There's in the back of the book, they actually have a bibliography of like other things you can read about and post credits, and I also think the art is just gorgeous. Like seriously, the art is some of the best. I think it's a great graphic novel. If you haven't let's do it that way. If you haven't had a chance to pick it up and you want a good graphic novel, and especially if you're a fan of the learning about First World War, definitely pick it up. Next, I want to talk about a book called Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. This was my introduction to Norse mythology. It's a sort of retelling of some of the more famous stories, but sort of dumbed down to make it easier to understand, because Norse mythology is just really annoying. If you're a fan of Norse mythology and want to learn more about them, definitely pick this up. I got the hardback because I'm stupid like that. But yeah, Neil Gaiman is such an amazing writer. I think he also did good omen, if I'm correctly, and he has such a way with words, and actually being able to understand Norse mythology helped me enjoy the stories more. Next is Emma Blackery's Feel Good 101. I used to really like Emma Blackery, and I picked this up when she first announced it, and really enjoy it. I don't read many biographies. I think I'd rather watch a video about a person, but reading about her life and her struggles has been really interesting. And if you're, I think this is a book like only fans of Emma Blackery will read, but I definitely was back in the day. I loved her music. I still do like her music. I still listen to some of her stuff, but this was really good. It was also a weird buy when I bought it, and someone was asking, why are you picking this up? It's more of a girl book. But yeah, I remember one story in this is that she used to listen to like music with her big chunky headphones, and she started getting more worried about not being able to hear around her. I think because of her dad was a bit ill, so thing. But it's really heartwarming, really great little read to learn about this incredible person. Next is Doctor Who's The Scratchman, written by Tom Baker. If you're a fan of Doctor Who, I'm not going to spend too long on this, but if you're a fan of Doctor Who, especially classic Who, pick it up. It's an amazing read. It's more horror based. Yeah, not much to say on that. Next is Moose and Tennyson. I like Moose and Tennyson. I'm currently reading through the, I think, like 7th volume. I thought I'd just bring this in. But a guy gets reincarnated into a younger kid. Well, he basically resets his whole life in a fantasy world. And the fantasy world's more realistic. Like, magic isn't something like everyone can do. But through hard work you can. And he also shows that quite a disgusting man can become better, and it follows his journey becoming basically a better man than he was in his previous life. Don't agree. My latest read is Kings of the Wild. If you like D&D, if you like fantasy, give it a read. If you like Lord of the Rings, give it a read. It is amazing. It's funny. It's gory. It's amazing. Well, it's not really gory, but it's quite amazing. So the basic story of Kings of the Wild is the main character and his band of brothers are ex-adventurers. They've had their big battle, their big fantasy exploits. They are well known to a point where everyone knows who they were, but it's after a few years after that, so the hype sort of died down. And it follows these guys getting back together to go and save the daughter of one of the characters because she's gone and fought in a battle after he said not to. And it's full of D&D stuff, like characters and stuff. It is incredibly well written. You can see that I'm actually currently reading it. It's one of those books where I pick it up for like, I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to read like 2 or 3 chapters and end up reading a lot more. If you like fantasy, there's also a sequel called Blood of Rose, which I have bought, but I need to get through this before I actually pick that up. So maybe that might be in a future video. Next is a bit of a weird one. Final Freddy Silver Eyes. Yeah, I really like the Silver Eyes novels. I really like how they've written the good little horror stories. I'm kind of a fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's, and I remember reading this in school and giving myself the shivers and goosebumps because it was actually quite a spooky little book. And with it coming to Halloween again, the story basically is not a retelling of Five Nights at Freddy's. It's its own universe. I believe it follows a character called Charlie and her experiences with basically the animatronics, and there's new characters. There's tons of Five Nights at Freddy's novels, but this is the first one, and I think this is the best one. You should definitely give The Silver Eyes a read. Second to last, I forgot about this one, but All You Need Is Kill. An amazing manga. If you're a fan of Edge of Tomorrow, definitely pick it up. The basic story is guy gets killed by alien, time powers, let's stop the aliens. I absolutely love this book. I fucking love the art. I love the story. And the designs for like the creatures if I can actually find them. Oh, for start, look at the fucking design of that power armor. But the design of the aliens. If I can find a picture of it. Well, they're like little orbs with like lots of tentacles, and they use like he starts to become aware of like his powers like really early, and you actually get to know how many times he goes through the loops, and I wish they didn't. I was not my I wouldn't say that I wish, you know, I wish they did that in the movie. And I remember picking this book up out of spite of not liking Edge of Tomorrow and wanting to read the original. Basically just out of spite. I generally think it was, I've gone back to the film, I actually really do enjoy it. But I basically picked that up just out of spite and say, hey, this is the real one, you should be reading this. And then actually going, actually, this is really good. And then rewatching the movie and go, it wasn't so bad. It's a good, you know, adaptation. Last but not least, is Fuck Yeah Video Games by Daniel Hardcastle, also known as NerdCube, one of my favorite YouTubers. I remember picking this book up and remember having to censor myself because of the name. But yeah, it's a not really much of a biography as much as it's his take on like the history of video games and his experiences through the generations of video games, because he was around really early with the video games, so he has like a massive experience. But yeah, it's really funny. There are a lot of like very funny jokes, and when he talks about like some of the video games, it is quite a laugh. And especially if you're a fan of his content, this is just more of his content. And also he's got a book coming out called The Paradox, which is out in a couple of months, which I will be picking up. Might get a review on that. I don't do many book reviews, but I don't do book reviews all the time, but I will definitely do that. Anyway, so that was like my top 10 books. Thank you very much for watching. And ta-ra.